Hey Eagles fans, wanted to make a quick video ahead of week 3 against the Colts. Obviously the Eagles are coming off a tough loss to the Bucs last week, where I think that our offense definitely struggled early on. They showed some signs of life in the third quarter, fourth quarter, but it just was too little too late. Carson's going to be coming back from his injury last year against the Rams. So that's the biggest storyline of the week. I do anticipate he'll have some struggles early on just due to the fact that he hasn't been playing in live action for months now. So he might look like he's in preseason form, but the man that we know Carson Wentz has been prepping and preparing to be the starter all this time. So I have a lot of confidence that he's going to get this offense back on track, whether it's this week or next. He's going to have a huge obstacle to overcome with Jay Ajayi, Darren Sproles, and Alshon Jeffrey not being available to play. And there are some concerns about whether or not Jason Peters is going to be able to play after only playing a few plays in the first series of the game against the Bucs last week. So you hope that, JP can be available to protect our franchise quarterback and against this Colts defense that seems to be really getting after quarterbacks in the first 2 weeks. I just watched 2 of their games. Obviously, they've only played 2, but they played the Bengals and they played the Redskins, and so I went over, the different, players that they have on their team. Their left tackle is going to be out this week, but he's been out since early on this preseason, so he's not really somebody that you are factoring into how they've played thus far this year. They're also going to be without one of their secondary players, Quincy Wilson, who was a second-round pick last year. He actually isn't a starter on the team, so it's not like he's going to be a huge loss for that team. He's also been dealing with a hand injury that he had a club on playing all these past 2 weeks, so kudos to him for fighting it out and trying to be available for his squad. But, when you look at these teams, the really big loss that they're going to be without is Autry. He came over from the Raiders, and he is definitely one of their skilled line players who's going to be missed for, creating pressure on a quarterback. With our offensive line, I have a lot of confidence that regardless of who was on the other side of it, they would be able to create opportunities for Wentz to make plays. But, that's just somebody that the Colts are going to be without this week that I think will hurt their defense in being able to be as productive as they had shown to be the last few weeks. A few players that I'm really impressed with when I watch the Colts this season so far are Darius Leonard, who is their rookie linebacker. He is from South Carolina. He is literally all over the field. He's so quick. He makes a lot of plays. He's stripped the ball on key plays. He is really doing well in his first few games, and I look to the Eagles trying to minimize his impact this week. You also see Andrew Luck is obviously a true talent in the NFL, and he's definitely getting back into a rhythm after being out for the last few seasons, struggling with his injury. So T.Y. Hilton is clearly one of his main targets, as well as Ebron, so we're going to have to be able to eliminate their impact in the game as well on the offensive side. Marlon Mack was their starting running back, but honestly, he hasn't been healthy most of this season, and he didn't make quite the impact that you would have hoped of a starting running back last week versus the Redskins. They have a rookie running back behind him, and then I'm totally blanking on the name of the other one, Hines. So 2 decent running back options for them, but honestly, with our run defense, I'm very confident that the ball's going to be put in Luck's hands most of the time during this game, and the Eagles are going to have to eliminate his ability to make plays down the field. So just putting a lot of credit where it's due for the Colts. They look like a really improved team from last year and years past. Obviously, having their captain, Andrew Luck, back is definitely a plus. And that team is definitely showing that they have the confidence to improve what they've got going on for years to come. They addressed their offensive line in the top 5 of the draft this year with Nelson, and he looks to be everything that they were hoping him to be. Does a great job of protecting Luck. I haven't seen Luck get sacked very much in the first 2 games, so protection has been there for him for most of this season so far. The biggest thing that I'm looking for the Eagles to do is just win in the trenches. I think if we're able to hit Luck early, create those opportunities for the defense to dominate the line, the offensive line to give Carson Wentz opportunities to make plays down the field, that's going to be the biggest payoff. Obviously, one of the lower level storylines of the week is that Jordan Matthews is now back on the team. He was signed after the Mike Wallace injury last week against the Bucs, so we have a little bit of maneuvering around to do. Obviously, Frank Wright is coming back for his first time with the Colts as the head coach for the Colts. I don't even know what I'm saying. So it'll be a tough matchup in regards to coaches trying to outsmart each other because they know each other so well. But Jim Schwartz is the type of guy that you want to see really take over this game because our defense plays so well at home, and we need to be able to create those turnover opportunities on defense and get the ball back into Carson Wentz's hands.